Hi, and welcome to Vinyl Albums That Inspire Me / Vinyl Albums I Like, Part 4. This is the fourth part of this little series I'm doing on albums I like / albums that inspire me, and hopefully some of you will check them out, and if you've got anything you can recommend me in the comments below, please do, because I'm always looking for new music to listen to. So I picked out another 20 at random albums I love, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them and show them, and if I know a little bit about them, tell you about them, etc. So here goes. Here's the first one. Mallard. It's upside down. Mallard. Mallard is a self-titled album which features Rocket Morton, Bill Ackleroad, Art Tripp, and what have they all got in common? They used to play with Captain Beefheart. I'm not sure if they left the Magic Band because they didn't like Unconditionally Guaranteed, or they were sacked from the Magic Band. But this is the album they made. They made 2 albums, and this is the first solo album they made. They got some great songs on it, like Back on the Pavement, which is fantastic. Peon, which is an old one, but it's a great instrumental. And of course they do Guy Clark's Desperados, Waiting for a Train. So it's sort of avant-garde country rock. It's not as wild as Beefheart stuff, but it's definitely an interesting record to check out. That's Mallard, and that's their self-titled album. And then moving on, a classic British rock and roll album, Billy Fury's A Sound of Fury. This is the 10-inch album from the late 50s, and Billy Fury wrote all the songs on this record. There was no covers on it, and Joe Brown played the guitar. And Joe Brown's a really underrated guitar player. He's a fantastic guitar player. Definitely worth checking out Joe Brown stuff. And definitely worth checking out A Sound of Fury by Billy Fury. Classic British rock and roll. You know, people like Vince Taylor, class acts, never made albums. And to have her on the 10-inch I think is pretty cool, because it's like, you know, you get the Johnny Burnette rock and roll trio on the 10-inch and the Carl Perkins dance album on the 10-inch. Lots of 10-inch stuff. I think the first Jimmy Bryant Speedy West album was on the 10-inch as well. Lots and lots. But Billy Fury, A Sound of Fury, definitely worth checking out. And now, something a little bit more obscure. Stackwaddy. This is their first self-titled album on John Peel's Dandelion label. It's come out in about 1970. As you can see, it's on the Dandelion label. I mean, this is quite Beefheart-esque. It's like heavy R&B is how I describe this. I mean, I've got the track listing here. I mean, there's quite a few covers on here. You know, they do Bo Diddley's Roadrunner, Bring It to Your Own, Captain Beefheart, Sure Enough, Yes I Do, Susie Q. And it's just a great album. They also made an album after this called Bugger Off, and they're the only 2 albums Stackwaddy made. So if you're into your like heavy R&B with a Beefheart sort of growl to the voice, Stackwaddy are definitely worth checking out. And I mean, John Peel had great taste in music, and because John Peel loved them, I'm sure you will too. And that's Stackwaddy's self-titled first album. And up next now, we're going to go for some British blues. And this is the Groundhogs' first album, Scratching the Surface, which features Tony McPhee, of course. This copy signed by Tony McPhee. The band were lucky to do a gig with the Groundhogs a few years ago at Swansea. But I really like the Groundhogs' first album. It's quite earthy, rootsy sort of blues. Completely different to like Split and Thank Christ for the Bomb, etc., which are great albums as well. But the Groundhogs' Scratching the Surface is definitely worth checking out. There's a fantastic version of John Lee Hooker's No More Dogging on this. I don't think it's John Lee Hooker, no More Dogging. I think it's Washboard Sam. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's a great record, and they just finished touring with John Lee Hooker, the Groundhogs. That's what made me think of the thing, and that's where Tony McPhee thought of the name, the Groundhogs. Was obviously from John Lee Hooker, and that's them in a pond on the cover. So there we are, the Groundhogs' first album, Scratching the Surface. We've got a bit of a, sort of started off with a bit of a bluesy feel, except for the Billy Fury album. And up next now is pure blues. Reverend Gary Davis. This one is titled Blind Gary Davis. Here he is with his Gibson J200. This is Pure Religion and Bad Company. And I mean, it's just a great album. He's an amazing guitar player. He's an amazing singer. You know, any Gary Davis album is worth checking out. I just pulled this one out because this is the one I was listening to last time. But there's a great documentary as well on the internet about Gary Davis, and Stephen Grossman's on it, and Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead, because they all took lessons off him. But definitely check out Reverend Gary Davis, Poor Religion and Bad Company. I mean, there's some great stuff on here. Mountain Jack, Candyman, you know, which is a real instrumental that a lot of people learn, you know, when they start the old finger picking guitar. So that's the Reverend Gary Davis. Now up next, this isn't an album I was going to pick, because it's not my favourite album by this artist, but I wanted to show some Rosa Flores. This is A Simple Case of the Blues album by Rosa Flores. This is a great blues album on the Last Music label. My favourite Rosa Flores album is Rockabilly Philly from around 1994. But it's just, you know, if you don't know Rosa Flores, she's like country rockabilly with some blues. And it's definitely worth checking out some Rosa Flores stuff. She's a great guitar player as well. Plays the James Troussart Telecaster. She's a really nice lady as well. We've done some gigs with her. I think it was this year before the pandemic, or it might have been last year, I can't remember. But there we are, Rosa Flores. I think it was February this year, so check out Rosa Flores. Up next now, this might be a surprise to some people. Genesis album, Nursery Crime. I love the early Genesis stuff with Peter Gabriel singing, and I think Nursery Crime is my favourite. With Return of the Giant Hogweed and Harold the Barrel. Steve Hackett on lead guitar. And I just think Nursery Crime is a fantastic album. Absolutely love the early Genesis stuff. And of course you've got the musical box on this. And I think Willow Farm is on the musical box, which is I love that section of the record. So if you're into your prog, you all know this, but check out Nursery Crime by Genesis. And now the next record is a Bill Kirchen inspired record. Red Simpson's Roll Truck Roll. Of course, Bill is the king of Diesel Billy, and this is one of his favourite records. So of course, if Bill liked it, I had to buy it. And I mean, it's got Truck Driving Man on it, Nitro Express, Roll Truck Roll, all songs Bill does. And I think Gene Moles plays guitar on the Red Simpson stuff. And it's definitely worth checking out Red Simpson if you're into that, you know, that sort of trucking rock and roll, Diesel Billy, Hillbilly. And I mean, I think Red Simpson wrote Highway Patrol as well, the song that Junior Brown does. But I was just looking on the back to see if he was on this record, but it's not. But definitely worth checking out Red Simpson if you're into Bill Kirchen and you like your Diesel Billy. Red Simpson's Roll Truck Roll. Up next, some pedal steel. Buddy Emmons. This is his steel guitar album, and it's got lots of steel guitar instrumentals on there, like the Orange Blossom Special. You know, Canon in D major, absolutely fantastic. Leon Rhodes played guitar on this, who's a great Nashville guitar. Well, he's played a lot of Nashville sessions. But of course, Buddy Emmons is on everything. I mean, Redneck Jazz with Danny Gatton. And if you like the pedal steel, you must know Buddy, but you've got to check him out if you don't know. I tell you, you've heard Buddy and you don't even know it, because he's on everything. So this is I really like this album. I thought I'd show this one. So that's a bit of Buddy Emmons and his steel guitar record. Up next, Buck Owens. Love Buck, love Don Rich. This is just a greatest hits, really. But I mean, you've got the Tiger by the Tail, Act Naturally, Together Again. You know what I mean? Buckaroo, which is a classic guitar instrumental. And I mean, Don Rich is a fantastic player. Buck is a great singer. The songs are great. And we're big Buck Owens fans here in this house. So it's definitely worth checking out some Buck Owens. And now, back to the blues. Wee Creighton. The Things I Used to Do, there he is with his red Strat with the anodized pickguard. Wee Creighton is a great, great blues guitar player. And he's Junior Watson's favourite guitar player. I'm a big fan of Junior Watson. But I mean, he does The Things I Used to Do on here, and My Kind of Woman. Let the Good Times Roll. But he's a great guitar player, great singer. Definitely check out Wee Creighton, if you haven't already, of course. Because I don't want to tell you, stuff that you already know. Up next now, a little bit of Americana, I suppose. Steve Earle's first album, Guitar Town. I mean, this features Guitar Town, Rockabilly Highway, Good Old Boy, Think It Over. Really love, Steve Earle. He's a great songwriter, I think he's a great singer. And this is his Guitar Town album, which is one of my favourite Steve Earle albums. It's one of his earlier works. But I mean, he got a new album out now, which is great. So that's a bit of Steve Earle. And I thought I'd show this because it's his birthday today. Clarence White and the Kentucky Colonels. This was his bluegrass band. And I mean, Clarence was a great flat picker, on his Martin D28, which Tony Rice has now got. But this is an 80s reissue of his bluegrass stuff. Clarence White and the Kentucky, I can't say it. Clarence White and the Kentucky Colonels. Fantastic B-bender player. I showed the Birds Sweetheart at the rodeo the other week. And I just thought I'd show some Clarence White on his own because it is just that good. If you like country guitar, you've got to listen to Clarence White. And now on a completely different direction again. Pink Floyd, The Wall. I love this record. It's the sort of album you can put on and just listen to from start to finish. I mean, Dave Gilmour's guitar playing is incredible. The songs are brilliant. Roger Waters and Dave Gilmour, they're all great songwriters. It's just a fantastic album. It's the sort of record I like to put on and just listen to, all four sides of it. And it's just it's a classic. The Wall, Pink Floyd. The last Pink Floyd album I showed, of course, was Piper at the Gates of Dawn. But for today, we show The Wall. Up next now, some more rock and roll. Fats Domino. Fats Rock and Rolling on London. I mean, everyone loves Fats Domino, This is a great, great record. He's got My Blue Heaven on it, Swanee River Hop. Fats Frenzy, which is a personal favourite of mine. And I mean, Fats Domino's a great piano player. Great singer. Absolutely fantastic. Really big fan of Fats Domino. And now some more rockabilly. Because why not? Ronnie Dawson. Still a lot of rhythm. Ronnie Dawson came out in the 50s with his Rockin' Bone single, and he sort of come back again in the 70s and 80s, and he passed away. But he's fantastic. Ronnie Dawson is a real class act. My personal favourite is Up Jump the Devil with our low C twanging guitar. But I mean, you got the monkey, you got the monkey beat. There's loads of Ronnie Dawson stuff on Spotify to check out. So I just pulled out a Ronnie Dawson album. This is signed as well by Ronnie Dawson. I thought I'd pull out a Ronnie Dawson just to show some Ronnie Dawson because I like him that much. And now, up next, another classic rockabilly album. I wanted to show this the first time round but couldn't find it. The Johnny Burnette Rock and Roll Trio album. I mean, every song on here is a winner. Honey, I Slow Some Train, Sweet Love on My Mind, Rockabilly Boogie, Train Kept A-Rollin', Drinking Wine, Spodey Odie. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Grady Martin on guitar, Paul Burleson playing the guitar on some of it. This is not the original 10-inch. I'd love to own the original 10-inch, but we just can't find it. But this is the ultimate, to me, rockabilly album. It's a guitar masterclass. It's a masterclass in music. I love this record, and it is one of my favourite albums of all time. And if you haven't heard this Johnny Burnette Rock and Roll Trio album, please do yourself a favour and listen to it. Out of everything I've ever shown, this is the one I recommend the most. Excellent. So there we are. Just 2 more to go now from this list of 20. I hope I haven't rambled on too much. Another real favourite album of mine, a big inspiration for my band. This is The Pirates, Out of Their Skulls. The first Pirates album. Half of it's live, half of it's in the studio. Please Don't Touch, I Can Tell. Peter Gunn, Lonesome Train, Shaking All Over, Milk Cow Blues. Drinking Wine, Spodey, You Do the Dog, Gibson Martin Fender, Don't Munching It, That's the Way You Are, You Don't Own Me. I do about 80% of this record live because I just love Mick Green's guitar playing, Johnny Spence's bass playing, and Frank Farley's drumming. It's a real pub rock extravaganza is what I'd call this. Real heavy R&B, fast and loud, in your face, great rock and roll guitar playing. It's almost like a punk album, but it's one of my all-time favourites. Along with the Johnny Burnette, big inspirations on me. And again, if you haven't heard it, check this one out. And last but not least, One of my favourite... oh, hang on a minute. I miscounted. There's 2 left. So second to last but not least, Scotty Moore, the guitar that changed the world. Scotty Moore, of course, played guitar with Elvis. And this is the album he brought out in the 60s, and he's playing an instrumental version of the Elvis songs. And when I was working out the Scotty Moore stuff, there's lots of that, me playing that on the YouTube channel. This is the record I used. Absolutely fantastic. Really class, you know. Hound Dog, Money Honey, Baby Left Me, That's Alright, Milk Cow Blues, Mystery Train. You know, Mystery Train got to be one of the greatest guitar riffs ever. So check out Scotty Moore, the guitar that changed the world. Absolutely wonderful. And last, now but not least, the great Skip James. This is the Skip James Today album on Vanguard Records. This is the one they brought out after he was rediscovered and they wasn't sure if he could sing, and he opened his mouth and he sounded absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's got Hard Times, Killing Flow on it, Crow Jane, I'm So Glad, which Cream done a version of, etc. But Skip James is incredible, you know, Delta Blues. That's absolutely amazing. So there we are, there's 20 albums I love again. I hope you enjoy this video. Please subscribe to the channel, because since lockdown I'm trying to build up a little YouTube channel to keep myself entertained with lots of different guitar videos and vinyl videos and all sorts. So if you enjoy this, I'll do a part 5. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Cheers.